Caesarea National Park, and as I say, that's the first national park of Israel. Just after the independence, it was declared, and that's again thanks to the Baron Edmond Benjamin de Rothschild. Edmond is French name, Benjamin was his Hebrew name. There's a city named after Benjamin, Binyamina, just it's after him. And he's the one who purchased all the land you can see from here to the mountain there and along the coast, including the ruins of the Caesarea. And we're talking of the 1880s. And they started to develop the place. And the idea was that it will become a place in the future of culture. And of course, a new town was built here. It's called Caesarea, of course, the modern town. And the land was prepared, drained for agriculture. Other land were for building, and some belong to the national park, subsidizing the national park. We're talking of really big works, and I'm just talking in this area, and it's not just this area where Edmond de Rothschild was involved. So the park, Israel started to excavate on a big scale in the 50s. Remember, when I say in the 50s, remember 1948, or from 47 to 49, we have the War of Independence. Israel is declared in 1948, in the middle of the war. So the state of Israel was born in a war in 48, and of course the development starts the morning after the war. Of course, there were things that were developed before. When the British left, they thought they would leave chaos, but there was no chaos. We already had a government, a shadow government. The moment the British left, the country kept working, and even better. So that's something to keep in mind. We were organized on the moment the British left. They left on May the 14th, and on the same evening, David Ben-Gurion declared the independence of the State of Israel, and the morning after, 5 Arab armies invaded the country, joining all the Arabs who lived here, who already started the war 6 months before that. So we're in the middle of a war, and it became an international war, but the country is managed, thanks to the Jewish Agency, and at its head, David Ben-Gurion, who will become eventually the first prime minister. So in the 50s, the war is over, development continues in a big scale, and archaeology is part of it. And the park the place is being developed. Here, the theater. Now I want to tell you something that I should not be telling you. You have seen a Roman theater, you have seen them all. I'm not saying that we're not going to see there. First, because maybe some of you have never seen a Roman theater, but really they were all built in the same mold. All over the Roman world, there were Roman theaters. The only difference would be what? The size. Bigger population, bigger theater. Smaller population, smaller. The quality of the material, the building material. Sometimes the Roman army will build an ad hoc theater because the general or maybe the emperor is coming to visit a special unit, and they want to offer some games for him. They build a theater on the spot made of wood. A forest will disappear, but they will build a theater, and they were good at that. You tell me, what's the Roman have with theaters? Roman theaters everywhere, but not only theaters, amphitheaters. And I want to correct a common mistake among Americans, mostly, amphitheater and theater. What is a theater? What's a theater? Please don't be ashamed to answer. Sorry?
The 360 degree.
So no.
No, that's...
But it's good to say, even if you think you are going to make a mistake, don't be. It's good.
Yeah.
I learned everything from mistakes. Look how many mistakes I make in my life, knowing so many things now. But amphitheater is circular, and theater is half circle. Like a movie theater, you have a focal point, which is a screen. In the theater, it is a stage. So you have a stage, and the people have to see this to see the stage. They cannot sit behind; they sit in front. In the amphitheater, it was made for sport, for games, for executions. So it's not important where you sit, the focal point is in the center. You understand that? So it can be round or oval as long as it is closed and the action takes place in the center, usually with a lot of sand in it. That's why it was called arena. In Greek, arena means sand. Very simple. So when we say the people are in the arena, because the arena has become synonym of place to fight. But people did not fight in the theater. Theater is for what? Plays, mostly plays. No, by the way, amphitheater is also for entertainment. It's sick entertainment, but it was entertainment for them, where people, gladiators, were killing each other, people were put to death, all kinds of events happened at the amphitheater. At the theater, it's more plays. And so the Roman built theaters, amphitheater, and one of the most popular was the hippodrome. What's hippodrome? A place for chariot races. Have you heard that? Have you seen every movie with Romans? You have a hippodrome. That was NASCAR of that time. People were excited by the speed. You know, we're so used to speed today, of very high speeds, that when we see horse races or something in a movie, they accelerate the thing. You know, the horses don't run so fast. When you see the westerns with the cowboys and so on, pay attention. Most of the old movies, the pace is accelerated because it doesn't seem to our eyes so fast, a horse running. But 2,000 years ago, a horse running a horse race would be so quick, so fast, and people were really excited. So 3 places were created by the Romans almost in every city they built. And why? Why do you want to be popular? You occupy the land and you want to be popular. Why that? People hate you. You occupied my land. Why do you want to be popular? Because they understood early that in order to conquer a land is more or less easy if you have a lot of forces. But keep it is difficult. You have to make the people pay their taxes. Everybody pays taxes to any king, their own or an invader. So what makes you different? I'm giving extra. I don't know, key holders, each one. Like they do with businesses, give you a little extra. But no, they give you entertainment. They understood very, very soon that you keep the people entertained, they don't have the time for politics. They don't have time to discuss about the enemy. They are busy with what a human being needs. He needs food for the belly and some entertainment for the brain. If you give the 2 things, people are happy. And if they're happy, they will leave you alone and let you rule. And they will pay their tax in time. And of course, you cannot make the people entertained if you make them pay for it. So it was free. Giving as much free food and free entertainment was the base. You know how they call it in Latin? Panem et circenses, which means bread and circus. Have you ever heard that sentence? Bread and games, bread and circus. Give the masses the minimum that they need and they will be happy. The Romans understood that, and the first thing they built in the city they conquered, theater, hippodrome, places for entertainment. Today we go to entertainment, but we pay for it. At that time it was free. In order to keep the people entertained all the time, it was free every day. People went every day to the theater. Not at night. Why not at night? No light. During the day. So you need to be idle. You are not working. So you go to the theater. The worst thing that can happen to a government is when people have no work. If they have no work, they do problems. So give them entertainment, so they have no work and they get entertained. They are not going to rebel against you. So we're not looking at a theater, and we're going in a moment there. We're not looking at the theater like a place like today we look at the theater. We're looking at a government venue. It's part of the ruling of the government. Without that, a theater lets you rule a country better than 10 legions. You can put a soldier next to every citizen and then it would be quiet. It's much cheaper to give them and better entertainment. And that's what the Romans did. And entertainment had to keep up with the pace. You know, if the one horse is too not exciting, over the time they added another horse. It became they call it a biga, B2. Then after that a third horse, triga. And then the most famous that we know from Ben-Hur and the quadriga, the 4 horses. They adapted to the people and to the needs of the people. Same happened in the theater. So let's go in the theater now. The theater was restored in the 50s. Benjamin de Rothschild thought, and the Rothschild Foundation, which is still managing the place, thought that it was a good thing that it can be used today. So it was restored.